Hi YouTube, this is the courier for my first video. I am doing a deck list for Yu-Gi-Oh! For my brand new Space-Time Psychic Removal deck. It's something new, kind of. Most of the cards came out in Generation Force, and a lot of people haven't really made a lot of use of them so far. I saw it, I saw the Connect, I sort of took a look at it, I found a few cards to my liking, I thought, I'm going to make a deck out of this. So, here it is. Just a note, I am using a few proxies. Proxies for my overload or overdrive teleporter, and one proxy for space-time police. So if anyone has two overdrives or a space-time for trade, go ahead and leave a comment or something and let me know. So first bit of the deck, 3 space-time police. When these guys are special summoned from being removed from play another monster, the monster that your opponent controls, and they are gone pretty much as long as these guys are on the field. So while these guys are on here, they're good synchro fodder and good for getting rid of bastard monsters like Stardust, because technically it doesn't destroy, it just it removes. So it's pretty much a deprison sort of effect. Next is my favorite card of this deck, 3 Time Escapers. These guys, pretty much great card for this deck. If a psychic monster I control would be, like, I would say, targeted by a deprison or something like that, I would just drop one of these guys from my hand, and I can chain the effect, remove them from play, and then come back during my next standby phase. So, and plus they would be technically special summoned, so if I'm doing that for Space-Time Police, I get to recycle his ability as well. It would work well with Esper Girl or even D-Deep Telepon if I'm running it or siding it. Time Escaper is level 2, 500 monster. It's sort of like an effect veiler, except it just removes them from play, and it pretty much nullifies the effect of, like, deprison and stuff, so it's a good card. Next card on the list, 3 Silent Psychic Wizards. These guys are 1900 beat sticks, and when they're normal summoned, I get to select 1 psychic monster in my graveyard, remove it from play, and when this guy is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, either through a synchro summon or an Xyz summon or anything like that, well, not an Xyz summon, that wouldn't work, or anything like that, pretty much, I get to bring out that monster removed. So yeah, I can pretty much bring back any of my Psychic Synchros or any of my Psychic Beat Sticks. It's a very good card for this deck. Third card, Serene Psychic Witch. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, not Synchro Summon, it specifically says destroyed, I get to look through my deck for a monster with 2000 attack or less, remove it from play, and then special summon it during my next standby phase. So sort of like Time Escaper, except it's straight from my deck, and then I get to use something like one of the new Synchros, or like one of the tuners, like Krebons or Esper Girl. Next card, Hush Psychic Cleric. This guy is key in this deck. When he's normal summoned or flip summoned, he automatically switches to defense mode, which is a 2100 shield, mind you. And during my turn, once per turn, I can drop 1 card from my hand, remove from play a Psychic, and then when this guy is sent from the field to the graveyard, I get to special summon that one of the Psychic monsters removed from play from this effect. So what I like to do is do Overmind Archfiend if he's in my graveyard, then use Overmind Archfiends to remove Hush Psychic from the Hush Psychic from the graveyard, and then when Overmind blows up, just get back Hush Psychic, and Hush Psychic can redo for Overmind, unless of course someone deprisons or something like that. But still, it's a good way of recycling your synchros. 2 Esper Girls. I currently want a third. I don't have it right now, which is kind of pathetic because they are commons. Level 2 tuners. And when they're removed from play, when they're specialed from being removed from play, or when they're just it's specialed from removed from play, I can remove from play the top card of my deck face down, and then when she's sent to the graveyard, I get to take that face down card and add it to my hand. So it adds good draw power while I'm doing my synchros. So 1 Krebons. This guy's pretty good. Good for synchros and stalling out, but I don't like his effect too much because, you know, it just makes me pay a lot, unless of course I have Prime on the field. He's a good 2-star tuner. I've got a thing for 2-star tuners, like how I constantly use Phalanx or Achilles with my Dragonities. Very good card. 1 Armored Axon Kicker. This guy is beastly. He's a 2200 attack point, be sick. When I control another Psychic, I can just normal summon. And when I attack and destroy a monster, I take damage to half that monster's attack points, and I get to special summon another monster with equal to or less than the damage that I took. So I can use Prime, gain that health, and then when I take, and then due to the effect, I can stop. I don't get the monster, but if I don't have Prime on the field, I can get out easily. Hush Psychic or like any other psychic monster except for like Overdrive Teleporter or Time Space Police, which is a little unfortunate. 2 Overdrive Teleporters. These are my proxies, really shitty, but they can't be they got a really good effect. They can't be special summoned, and when he's normal summoned or tribute summoned, I can pay 2k and I can special summon 2 level 3 monsters from my deck. And they have to be psychic, of course, but I can only use it once while he's face up on the field. I like recycling him through like using a few effects like Psychic Overload or something like that. But when I do get him on the field, it pretty much is an instant synchro for me, and it's very good, like an easy thought ruler. Next card. 2 Prime Materials. These guys are Beat Sticks, level 6, pretty much stop anything that targets, and takes all the damage I would take to a Psychic Monster's effect, and heals me. With this card, I pretty much mass heal with this deck. It's amazing. 2 Dice Jars. This is a fancy card. Pretty much, if we both roll a dice, when he's flip summoned, we both roll dice, and whatever time the result is, whoever has the higher result, the opponent takes damage equal to 5 times 500. Or if you roll a 6, your opponent takes 6,000. Now this works with me because I have 2 Prime Materials, and if I do have Prime on the field while this activates, whether I win or lose, I'm either dishing out the damage or healing myself. So a very good card for his deck in particular. 1 Caius. I need 1 more. He is very hard for me to get because no one at my locals really wants to trade him. Very good because he removes, and that's sort of the whole main thing with this, and very good 6-star. 1 Barrier Resonator. I use him solely for the fact that he's a light tuner and he can protect my other tuners. I'll show you what synchro I use him for later. 2 Past Images. These are rather new cards. They pretty much remove your opponent's monster until the next standby phase, so you can get rid of like a Stardust or a Red Dragon or any other problem synchro or Xyz, and it'll come back during your own turn. But the point is, you wouldn't have to contend with it during during the opponent's turn. Now you got 2 Mind Over Matters. You tribute a Psychic type, and then you can negate the activation of a spell, a trap, effect monster effect, or the normal or special summon of a monster. It's a solemn with a cost, so it's a solemn with the cost of a monster, so it's pretty good for his deck as well. Psychic Overload. I only have 1. I kind of want to run 2, but I think that would be overkill. It does add a lot of draw power because I add 3 Psychics in my graveyard, and I get to add 3 psychics from my graveyard into my deck, so it's good for recycling things like Overdrive, or even my Serene Psychic Witch, or something like that, and I can draw 2 cards. So, very good card for this deck as well. 2 Psychic Tunings. It's pretty much like a call, except it brings back a Psychic and turns it into a tuner. So, it works pretty much with everything in this deck. Mirror Force. Enough said. 2 returns from the different dimension. Good card. Basically, great for swarming out your opponent if all goes to shit. Got a Foolish Burial. Dark Hole. 2 teleports. Teleport will pay 800. If you have no monsters on the field and your opponent controls a monster, pay 800 and special summon a psychic type from your hand. So that's any psychic type except for Overdrive Teleport. So 2 Psychic Field Zones. Pretty much shuffle in 2 remove from play psychics, 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner, into your graveyard, and then you can synchro summon with it, and then you can special summon a synchro monster with that card, and it will classify as a synchro summon. 1 Burial from Different Dimension, good for recycling psychics. Emergency Teleport. This is Alti First Dish. I was very proud of myself for scoring this one. 2 Psychokinesis. Pay 1,000 while you control a psychic type. Pay 1,000. Pop a card on the field. 2 Miracle Synchro Fusions. Good for Armored Axon Kicker, and if your opponent just falls for it, like while it's face down, it adds draw power. And 2 MSDs. So that's the spells, the traps, the monsters. Now moving on to the extra deck. Overmind Archfiend. As I said, I like getting this guy out while I have the Hush Psychic Cleric, so I can constantly keep on recycling them. Thought Ruler, pretty much a standard staple for this. I need another easy 8-star with this deck. It's very good card. Pretty much just mass healing and stops targeting. 2 Psychic Life Transfers, the most underrated of psychics if you ask me. Because with these guys, I can remove from play any 1 psychic monster and gain 1,200. It's good for getting the heads up on your opponent. He's a 2,400 beat stick. Also it removes from play, so it goes with the entire theme of this. 2 Hyper Psychic Blasters, Tramplers, Piercers. Very good card. I want to add Assault Mode for this, so I can pretty much pummel my opponent with the Assault Mode version. 2 Psychic Nightmares. These guys are for when all else fails. When you feel like, you want to mess with your opponent, take the chance, get a good 3,400 beat stick if you have the right luck. Whether or not, other than that, he's a 6-star. He's an easy 2,400 beat stick. It's okay. 1 Ultimate Axon Kicker for the Miracle Fusions. Very good card. He pretty much beats the living crap out of your opponent and mass heals you. And he's also a piercer as well. He's pretty much Hyper Psychic Blaster with a larger attack point, with a smaller attack point scale, but it's alright. It's good use for Miracle Synchro. 1 Stardust. Probably should be rank 2, but my other 2 are with my Dragoonities. Very good. I love Stardust, enough said. And finally, this is the synchro that I use for with the Resonator, the light one. I can't remember. Barrier Resonator. Thank you. And it's Ancient Sacred Wyvern, 7-star, and it gains the attack point difference between you and your opponent when you have higher attack points. When you have higher life points. Pretty good card for this deck, because there's a lot of 6-stars, and you got your 1-star light, easy synchro, plus Barrier. The Resonator allows me to stop a monster from being destroyed during the turn if I decide to just sort of drop them. But with Ancient Sacred, if he would be destroyed by battle, I could just pay 1,000, special summon. And with Prime, that's a plus another 1,000 to me. So that is my Psychic Removal deck. or my time-space macro monarch, whatever you may like to call it. I freaking love this deck so far. It's alright. I haven't finished it yet because, of course, I'm still using proxies. I need to somehow work in a couple of Dark Bribes and a Solemn Warning and a Solemn Judgment, but there will be room for that much later. So, thank you for watching my video. This is the Courier, and I look forward to having everybody else watch my other videos as well.